So Santi, like I said, I don't know a lot about professional wrestling, but the story within wrestling I've spent the most time looking into and researching is Chris Benoit.
Oh yeah, that's the story.
I guess he'd be my favorite wrestler.
Yeah, how familiar are you guys with the Chris Benoit story?
I only know the page one who banged all the other wrestlers. That I know one story.
Yeah,
I know what he did.
Yeah, okay. The Sparks note essentially is there was a WWE pay-per-view on a Sunday night, and he was scheduled to be there to have a match, and he just never showed up. And this was a guy that was a consummate professional there every single day, early, incredibly respected amongst his peers. And then by the morning, news broke out that he was dead, his son and his wife was dead. That's all we knew at the time. Now, it's Monday, and WWE does their weekly show on Monday, and they had something big special lined up. There was a big follow-up to that pay-per-view. Out comes Vince McMahon to an empty arena to tell everybody that Chris Benoit has passed away. They do a 2-hour tribute, and they send out wrestlers to talk about what an amazing person he is, what a great father, what a great human being. It's important to note, okay, this is kind of ridiculous.
I'm sorry, can I interject more detail? Vince McMahon was at that moment like in a storyline where he was dead.
He got murdered.
His limo blew up, right?
He stepped into a limo, it exploded, and the storyline was going to be the clue who done it. Because on his way to the limo, there were like 6-7 different wrestlers that gave him a funny look. And the storyline was going to be who blew up Vince McMahon's limo.
Simpsons did it.
Yes. So, but then the very real death of Chris Benoit forced them to pivot everything. And they very hastily did that tribute because within like 2 hours, it came out that he had killed his son, his wife, and strangled himself from his Bowflex machine. Like super like dark, really messed up stuff. If you want to like talk about like silver linings from like that horrible situation, that's the reason why the NFL has such great like concussion protocols, because he was one of the first major athletes that they checked his brain inside and out what happened. And this man had so many concussions. He had the brain of a 75-year-old in his early 40s. And that led to a huge discussion about CTE, WWE putting in a bunch of measures regarding concussions, drug usage, and now it's a much healthier product. Unfortunately, started from such a dark, brutal, real-life thing that happened.
It is funny how many bad, poorly timed things happened in a row, in a way. Like, tragic, he kills his entire family and himself. But then in like a 2-hour window, they do a whole like, oh, you should have known this guy. He was a real champion. And like, and then it comes out and they have to backtrack. Do they pull all that footage? Like, I don't know. We're not going to air this anymore.
Yeah. So basically after that happened, Vince McMahon once again comes on air and says that they will never mention his name ever again. To their credit, they never have. There is, of course, archival footage of all of his matches, but that's about all that you can find from him. They don't mention him. They do nothing regarding him. It is very much a black sheep story when it comes to WWE nowadays.
Is that the worst thing that's ever happened within WWE?
I would say non-story wise. Yeah. Like, I don't think it gets as bad as that. There was this story of Owen Hart as well.
I know him.
Yeah. It was another pay-per-view. Over the Edge 1999 was the name of the pay-per-view. And Owen Hart, a very respected wrestler, like somebody that was seen as the cream of the crop, one of the greatest to ever do it. He was basically being put through a humiliation ritual because his brother, a far more famous wrestler, Bret Hart, had defected from the WWE and gone to the competition named WCW. And afterwards, this very respected wrestler was put in like tights and a mask, and he was like this like superhero, like the most degrading thing that you could make somebody that was this respected to be doing in wrestling. And they were going to have a bit where he was going to have a match against a wrestler called The Godfather, who came out with something called the Ho Train, Woody, where he'd come out and there'd be like 50 girls behind him, and those were his hoes, and he was a pimp. That was his character.
Okay.
And the Blue Blazer was supposed to come down from the rafters and he was supposed to the wire was supposed to stop like 5 feet before it landed, and he was supposed to land all goofily, right? Like, oh, he can't even make his entrance right. Falls from 70 feet from the rafters. Somebody didn't do their job. Somebody messed up. And on live pay-per-view in front of the 15,000 people that were in attendance, this man just falls flat to the ground and just dies.
And how did they handle it after, like in the immediate
humiliation ritual
like,
was a huge success.
Oof. They went too far.
a little far. This is where like there was a lot of like backlash towards WWE. Vince is like, show must go on. They spent maybe 10 minutes after this man died in front of everybody. And it's like, all right, Nation of Domination, get out there. It's time to fight DX.
Are you serious?
and like these guys they just saw their friend die on TV, and they had to announce it to the people watching at home that like Owen Hart has passed away. And like no one wants to go out there and fake fight after their friend just fell from the rafters 70 feet. So
it's what we wanted.
Taylor, you tell me which one's worse.
Well, definitely the family murder. Because more people died.
I agree.
But that would suck to be like, imagine you're already not in the mood. You're dressed up like a luchador and you're like, it's a job. And then a guy that you like dies in front of you and you have to go out there and be like, listen here, Larry Lightning, you're not the king of the ring, or whatever happens in wrestling.
I'm the Shockmaster.
I'm the Shockmaster. Yeah, that's a more lighthearted wrestling story that I enjoyed is and low effort. How low effort the Shockmaster was. Like if I don't know if that was WCW or WWE, but if that were WWE, it seems like an inside man from WCW got his hands on a character and was like, and like kind of dressed him like a Nordic pelt trader, and also a stormtrooper hat, and like you would do something like that and like
bedazzle it, not a standard stormtrooper head.
No, it can't be intimidating whatsoever, because he was supposed to because remember initially he was supposed to be like Billy Badass. He wasn't supposed to be a goober.
He was supposed so he was the secret partner for a wrestler named Sting, a legend in Southern wrestling. And Sting is hyping this guy up like, you guys have no chance. My partner is none other than the Shockmaster. Well, pyro hits. He comes through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man, falls and trips. His helmet rolls off of him as he's frantically looking for his helmet to put it back on. The first second of his debut was the end of his career.
Oh yeah. Yikes. For some reason I thought he had a fur pelt on. Maybe that fell off in the tumble. But, because this is post tumble after he frantically put his helmet back on, and he's doing hand motions trying to because he's not talking, it's some guy on a mic, and so he's trying to catch up to the lines. And so the guy behind there is like, the guy started talking immediately like, I am the Shockmaster and I will come for you. And so he's like, it's me, I'm Boo, and he's trying to catch up with the hands.
Oh my god. He's so fat too. Like why is Look, this is not the physique that I want to see in my pro wrestler. I like to see just people who look like superheroes. And look, I don't know what contributed to what's his name murdering his whole family, but steroids are required. All right, like if you can't handle your steroids, you shouldn't be a wrestler. They need to be enormous. The bigger, the better. Mark Henry's weightlifting stats are absurd. He's literally one of the strongest human beings who's ever existed. That's the kind of wrestler I like.
That's fair. Like they say that steroids are a banned substance in the WWE, but I think anybody that has a semblance of understanding of fitness knows that these bodies just aren't possible. Nowadays,
40s, 50s, and 60s too.
It's a lot less prevalent. There are a lot of wrestlers that you look at like you could achieve that with some P90X and a good 5-day routine at the gym or something like that. You definitely could, but like
really.
Yeah. You can, if you want to look up somebody like maybe you pull up a picture of a wrestler named Adam Cole. That is a very popular wrestler. That is a guy that you might just find at your regular local gym. But then you see somebody like a John Cena who's 47 and is just jacked to the fucking gills. I don't think that that's chicken and a daily dose of your vitamins and saying your prayers.
Cena looks really good. Like he's got a lot of almost naked scenes in what was that?
Trainwreck.
Peacekeeper. or Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Yeah.
And Peacemaker, he's there in his like little boy briefs, and he is just. It looks like he's carved out of marble. Like if you were carving him out of marble, you wouldn't be like, let's make this a little bigger, or that a little more defined. You'd be like, no, that's perfect. He nailed it. He looks incredible.
What about that doesn't scream natural to you?
The veins, the enormity, the mass, his age.
That's just true, maybe.
Yeah, he's pushing 50 at this point. He's a lot older than people think. He's been around now for a really, really long time. I had a friend, he's passed away since, he had a muscular dystrophy. And I met him back in like 2004, and he was one of the few people that I could talk wrestling with. And in 2006, this bitch, he got a Make-A-Wish, and I was like, dude, you gotta, John Cena, we have to meet John Cena. I mean, you gotta meet John Cena, but I'm coming. We have to meet John Cena. But he ended up going with a PS3 and a bunch of games because it just came out, and we could have met John Cena.
That sucks. How long do you have to like if you do a Make-A-Wish?
He'd even think about you for his Make-A-Wish.
do you have a limit? Like if he made a wish and then maybe a period of recovery and then gets really sick again 4 or 5 years later, do you get to double dip, or are they like, no, you cannot make a wish?
I don't think so. He only got if he got a second wish and he didn't get John Cena, then I'd be really mad at him.
Was he terminal? How did he do?
So he passed away like deep into his 20s. He lasted a long time with muscular dystrophy, and it just kept getting more degenerative. He had a twin brother, and they both got it. It's just that, it's the worst hand I've ever seen like a mom be dealt, because then she was also a single mom as well. It was,
and then there's Chris Benoit's wife.
There's Chris Benoit's a lot of tragedy in the wrestling.
Yeah, that's a rough mom situation as well.
Yeah, she had it. She had it worse.
Yeah, even more difficult.
Is
than
John
Benoit.
Cena still a bad guy?
So John Cena was the good guy for years. He was the Superman, the ultimate good guy. In fact, I think he announced the death in the execution of Osama bin Laden live on TV. I think it was like in 2011 after a show. He comes out on a microphone. He's just like, I just wanted to let you all know that we have found and ended to a permanent end Osama bin Laden. I think kids thought that he killed Osama bin Laden.
He made it sound that way.
He totally made it sound that way.
Wow,
you think Sting was with him?
Yeah, he's now in 2025. He's in his retirement tour in the WWE. I think he's ready to go fully into Hollywood.
Nobody ever fully retires. They come back for that juice every time they need it.
I agree, but then John Cena is like actually like mega rich. Most of these guys come back because they blow through their money and are terrible with finances, like Ric Flair, who has had 17 different retirement matches. John Cena has Hollywood. So when he says retirement tour, I actually believe John Cena, but you're right, Kyle. That is actually like a trope in wrestling where one last match. Yeah, okay, fuck you. We'll see you in 5 years, bud.